I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Today we are going to talk about the best build for Jixia as well as his best teams, his weaknesses and strengths, ancient marks, weapons, skill priority, and most importantly, how to play him to his full potential. Let's dive in. Jixia is a powerful and versatile breaker with water element. Not only his skills deal good damage, he is also a great crowd control character. His second skill gives him the ability to reposition himself, which can be great defensively, although his skills do require precise timing, which can take a while to master. First, let's talk about his skill upgrade priority. First of all, you should upgrade his passive skill Cosmic Birth, as this is the main source of his damage. This upgrade going to increase the damage of his torrent blades, which you'll be using quite a lot since he's supposedly a breaker just like Viola and Nana. Second priority should be his second skill, Primordial Waters. This is the skill that activates torrent blades, and most of the time you'll be using this as his main source of damage. You should definitely upgrade this. Third priority should be his first skill, Heaven Tides Call. This skill is a crowd control, and it applies a debuff, but since Jixia's main damage comes from his passive and second skill, that's why first skill should be your third priority. Fourth priority should be his ultimate skill, Serene Tide. A lot of people get confused as to why the ultimate isn't placed as the highest priority for upgrading, since you're going to be using it whenever it's available. It's because you will only be using it once or twice in a battle, where as your other skills will be used far more. And that's why upgrading ultimate is the fourth priority. Fifth priority would be his combo skill, Everclear, and your last priority should be his basic attack. For a quick recap, focus on upgrading Jixia's passive and second skill, Primordial Waters, as they are his main source of damage. After that, you can upgrade his first skill, Heaven Tides Call, and ultimate skill, Serene Tide. Combo and basic attack should be your last priority. Next up, let's talk about his strengths and weaknesses. First strengths, crowd control and positioning. Jixia excels at manipulating the battlefield. His first skill, Heaven Tides Call, pulls enemies toward him, grouping them for AoE attacks, which is ideal for setting up team combos or clearing waves of enemies. This ability also applies the Zhuo mark, enhancing stasis duration by 30%, versatile mobility second skill. Primordial Waters allows Jixia to teleport to a designated location, creating a water zone and sending out a ripple for additional damage. This teleportation offers both offensive and defensive utility, letting him reposition to avoid danger or engage enemies strategically. Now let's talk about his weaknesses. Reliance on precise timing. Jixia's kit requires skillful execution. For example, second skill Primordial Waters generates torrent blades only if the ripple is cancelled within a small radius beneath an enemy's feet, demanding precision. Vulnerability to fast enemies. Jixia's reliance on grouping enemies and setting up water zones can be disrupted by fast, mobile enemies that avoid his pools or zones. His kit doesn't seem to have innate defensive tools beyond dodging, so he may struggle against aggressive foes that close in quickly or interrupt his combos. Team dependency for maximum potential. While Jixia is versatile, his full potential shines with teammates who can capitalize on his setups. Example, stasis synergy with Jaw Mark. Without a complementary team, his utility might be reduced, as synergy is pretty important in Black Beacon. If you're finding value in this video, I'd really appreciate a like and a subscribe to the channel. I'm working toward reaching 1,000 subscribers, and your support means the world to me. Next, let's talk about his best weapon and ancient marks. If you have watched my previous guides, I have always mentioned that the best weapon for any character in Black Beacon is absolutely going to be their exclusive 5-star weapon. In Jixia's case, his 5-star weapon Zenith Abyss is his perfect fit, as it provides a 7.2% water damage boost as the base effect, and Jixia gains an 8% damage boost each time a ripple from his second skill, primordial waters hit an enemy marked with Joe mark, or when torrent blades hit any target. This effect can stack up to 5 times and last for 15 seconds. If you want to utilize Jixia to its maximum capabilities, you can just pick Zenith Abyss from the Vulcan Grace. But there's one very important thing to keep in mind, that our next character after Jixia is Yuli, and she might need her exclusive weapon more, so only pick Zenith Abyss right now if you are certain that you don't care about Yuli's exclusive weapon. As for the ancient marks and best stats for Jixia, fortunately there isn't much to consider because the recommended ancient marks are going to be his best in slot, so you can put your worries aside and just use the recommended ones. He obviously just came out, so it'll take a few days to see if he really needs another marks than his recommended one. And if that's the case, I'll update the pinned comment, so check that out. Next, let's talk about his best teams. First one would be Florence as your main DPS, Jixia as breaker, and Zero as assist. Water and fire creates overload reactions, adding extra AoE damage. Jixia's crowd control maximizes Florence's AoE, and Zero's attack buff enhances overall output, and this team handles waves and bosses well, avoiding the pitfalls of a mono water comp. Second team would be Li Qi as your main DPS, Jixia as breaker, and Ninsar as support. Li Qi's thunder element and Jixia's water element creates elemental overload, so they are great pair. And Ninsar boosts the survivability by providing shields. Remember that you can also switch Ninsar with other supports like Asti to help Jixia proc the stasis quicker and provide healing, but since Li Qi have a HP sacrifice mechanism, it's best to use Ninsar into this team. Third team would be Florence as main DPs, Jixia as breaker and Hefei as support. Jixia and Ming provide elemental overload and off-field damage, supporting a flexible DPS like Florence. This setup avoids redundancy and adapts to varied content, as Hefei offers quick rotations, off-field damage, and buffs. Her fire element triggers overload with Jixia's water element, which would be great. Next, let's talk how to play Jixia to his full potential. Keep in mind that most of Jixia's damage comes from his passive and second skill, as they stay on field even when he's switched out. First, cast. Jixia's first skill Heaventide's Call and group up the enemies while putting the Joe Mark debuff on them, which increases stasis freeze duration by 30%. After you have them grouped up, use his second skill Primordial Waters and press it again right when the wave is under the enemy's feet, as that's the only way to actually activate torrent blades. Every 3 seconds, a torrent blade would be summoned to damage enemies in a total duration of 10 seconds. Right after he casts this skill switch to a support cast their buffs and immediately switch to your main DPS to finish off the enemies. That's it everyone. If I missed something or you have any other suggestions, let me know in the comments. Have a wonderful day everyone. I'll see you in the next one.